Welcome back to the Dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with TruMotion, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place and hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host Stephen.
Hello.
Let's get things kicked off. Well, let's do get right into it and let's do our weekly recap. Stephen, how's your week been?
My week has gone by so fast.
Yeah?
I'm in full training dogs mode, trying to get them to be obedient, trying to get them to learn, and make them ultimately better companions for where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
But that takes a lot of time and effort, and you realize, I can tire out these dogs, but at the end of the day, they get the last laugh because I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm asleep.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't want to compare students to dogs, but it's like teaching.
Right.
You know,
I've heard myself say, "Good job" in a higher voice to students.
Yeah.
And I usually save the higher pitched stuff for the puppies.
Well, yeah, when you're training younger kids, they respond as if you're training an animal, which, again, I'm not comparing the students to animals, but at the same time, when you have a higher pitched voice and you give them an attaboy,
mm-hmm.
they really respond to that. So
you're excited for them.
Exactly. Yeah, speaking of dogs, we have a very special guest in the studio today.
We have an uninvited but welcome guest.
Welcome guest, yes. You brought one of your dogs with you?
Brought one of my dogs. I brought, I'm calling her Molly. That's her puppy name.
Yeah.
I had to come up with something more feminine rather than the mole because she's an all-black border collie. Very small white markings on her feet. And she looked like a mole for the first 4 weeks of her life.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she
couldn't call her mole.
I couldn't call her mole.
Molly.
Yep. That's kind of who I have right now. She's being very obedient and quiet.
So if you hear any whining or whimpering or barking throughout the podcast,
me, I promise.
Yeah, I promise we're not doing it. It's Molly. We'll take a picture and we'll put it on our social media so you can check her out there. But yeah, you brought in a special guest. Maybe we'll have some more special guests next week. We'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah, so stay tuned and see what's going on. So, but yeah, no, but
how was your week?
It was kind of the same thing, fast. Just, with recovery with Shanna, and I went and got my heart checked out today to make sure everything's going okay with that. It's funny, I always hated going to the doctor. I still hate going to the doctor. But as you get older, you're like, you know what? I better start, taking extra better care of this old thing because you want it to last for as long as you can. Yeah. So if there's something that you can prevent beforehand,
that's right.
You might as well. And instead of being stubborn and being like, whoa, whatever, that type of mentality, it's like, just go get it checked out. And if there's nothing, it's nothing. So I went and did that this morning. And, obviously they poke you in the hand because they got to use some contrast. Luckily, the nurse was really good. She got it in the first shot. I am notoriously bad.
You got those wiggly veins.
Yeah, man. They dodge. They sense that needle coming in. They're like, whoop, just kidding. Yep, exactly. So, but that wasn't too bad. Just got to hang out, lay on my back and side for a while as they scan for a baby in my chest. Now I can tell everybody I do have a heart. I heard it. Wow. And I saw it. So,
wow.
Yeah. So if you're like, you're heartless, be like, nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
I saw it.
I have medical proof.
My doctor says I have one. Not my mom, my doctor. So, yeah, that was, and Shanna had her first bout of physical therapy this morning as well.
Well done.
That was, she's never had physical therapy.
Oh,
so
wow.
she was thoroughly surprised on how much they were going to push her on the first day. So,
wow.
Yeah, and she just told me, I feel very bad for her. Her therapist, he's a BYU and a Cowboys fan.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which, if you like BYU or the Cowboys, hey, good for you. But that's the worst combination ever. Yeah. I don't even know of a worser combination than BYU and the Cowboys.
They should scan to see if you have a heart or not.
Yeah, or if you're a zombie or a Nazi, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're on par with those guys. Which again, hey, I love all the Cowboys and BYU fans out there. You guys are just really annoying.
They're so annoying.
Well, hey, and this is coming from an Eagles fan, which we're really annoying too.
You're so annoying.
So I get it. Like we know we're so annoying that we have shirts that says "No one like us, no one likes us, and we don't care." They even have a chant that they say at the stadium. That's like I can't repeat it on air because it's colorful language.
There's some things.
But yeah, it's like we know people don't like us, and frankly, we don't care. So, but at least we've been to the Super Bowl in the last century.
That's right.
So, and the Utes kicked off their first game of the regular season. Yes, last night that was good. They put a stomping on the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah, which
I mean, it's a good warm up.
Yeah, we appreciate Southern Utah for making the trip up here, but they had no chance anyway. So. Yeah, it'll be cool to see how they do in the Big 12, changing conferences, and but they look pretty sharp. Had Cam Rising back for the first time in over a year and a half. He injured his knee in the first Rose Bowl, I believe, and he was out
the rest of the year, all
of next season too. So, we went to the Rose Bowl last year too. Yeah, we didn't stand a chance last year. That was rough. But the year before that, we put up a good fight against Ohio State, so that was nice. But yeah, so that was this week, and looking forward to the weekend. We've got Labor Day weekend coming up, so that'll be nice. Any plans for the weekend?
Oh, you got to get together with some of the guys and go shooting.
Oh, okay. Where do you go do that?
I go out to a 5 Mile Recreation Center. So
All
it's
right.
out by Eagle Mountain.
Okay.
Where the law is. Where it's still the Wild West out there.
All right, yeah. Yeah.
I was on the original Pony Express trail.
Is it really? Oh, wow. Okay. That's cool. What are you going to go shoot?
Just guns.
Yeah, any particular kind of guns?
Well, just a few guns.
Yeah.
Just a handful of guns.
Okay. Are you going to do more pistols or rifles?
I'll probably practice more with pistols, but then the fun stuff is all rifles.
Yeah.
I like shooting rifles. I have one, but it's a good one.
The rest of them
are
lost in a
shotguns.
Accidents?
Yes, that I lost in a canoeing accident.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. So you're a shotgun fan? Are you a 12 or a 10?
I don't have a 12 yet. I'm looking to get a 12.
You want to borrow one?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I have a unique disposition where it's like if I shoulder a gun, it needs to have a short stock. If I don't shoulder a gun, then it's fine. So I use I do a lot more practice with pistols, but my rifle has an adjustable stock. My shotguns don't. But
I do have one that two of them that I could probably have you use.
Really?
I can talk to them about off air.
Okay.
Don't want to disclose what I.
Yeah, I'm being pretty
used on
vague
there,
on purpose here.
No, I just got one that has a folding stock, so you can either shoot it without the stock or with the stock.
I might have seen that one. I think you had that pulled up one time. That seems interesting.
It was really inexpensive too. It's like $290.
That's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's that or a puppy,
Yeah.
They're about the same price.
Midway USA will get you in trouble if you're not careful.
Yeah, and it's Labor Day. There's a lot of sales going on.
Yeah.
This is difficult times for me.
Yeah. No, so I'll talk to you about them, and if you want to, I can bring one on by for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm excited.
Good old shotguns.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, we're going shooting. That'll be fun.
Yep. You have a Labor Day tradition or any plans? The dojo's closed, by the way.
Yeah, dojo's closed on Monday. It's Shannon and I's anniversary.
Whoa.
On the 2nd, so...
That's incredible.
Yeah, so we try to... We used to go up to Park City for the weekend, and then everybody and their dogs started going up to Park City for the weekend. So now we go to football games.
There you go.
Yeah, so
Which ones are you looking at this?
Well, we're going to the Monday night football game down in Philadelphia.
That's right.
In a couple of weeks.
That's in a few weeks.
But normally we try to catch one of the football games around our anniversary time. So, but no, we'll probably just go out to dinner or something.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty low key. We're pretty boring that way. So.
Uh-oh.
But all right, moving on with the show. It's a word from our sponsor, real quick.
You check it, dojo vibes, got something to share. TRUMOTION merch shop, got that ninja flair. Shirts and hoodies, slick like Bruce Lee. Karate thread sharp like a kick to the knee. Custom names and colors like a lightsaber's glow. You're the Jedi, watch how your style gon' flow. Scan that code, jump in, it's time to score. With gear so fresh, you'll be wanting more. TRUMOTION merch where the fit's on point. Dressing up clean like $1 billion joint. TRUMOTION, safe stacks like Bruce. Get your swag right, man, no excuse. From the mat to the street, stepping like Jan. Gear so fly like your own stunt man. Personalize it like your own Stark Tech. Karate gear tight like a chop to the neck. You name your colors like a comic book villain. Step in the light while you're laid back chillin'. Scan the code, it's your time to rise. With TRUMOTION gear, you'll take the prize. TRUMOTION merch where the fit's on point. Dressing up clean like $1 billion joint. TRUMOTION, 10 safe stacks like Bruce. Get your swag right, man, no excuse. Yeah, TRUMOTION's the wave, call it the new rave. Get your gear, step up, now time to behave. Scan that code, the deal's too sweet. Karate swag's here, time to bring the heat.
Thank you, sponsor.
Thank you, sponsor.
And next up is our top 5. This week's top 5 is an interesting one because you either like, one, you've either had all 5, or 2, you want to have all 5. It is top 5 dog breeds.
Wow.
Okay, now some people are like, I can't. You can list 5 dog breeds. Now, have you had all 5? Maybe, maybe not. I know for a fact at least one of them on here I have personally not had, but I've always wanted one.
Okay.
So I'll go first. In no particular order, I've got labs. I've had labs growing up my entire life.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I just lost my most recent one about a year ago. Her name was Ginger. Oh, she was the sweetest girl ever. Labs are great dogs. Very, very loyal. Oh man, they're just the best things ever. They have a little wild streak in them though. So
really,
yeah, when they're young, and you don't like train them right, they will run you ragged and chew everything up. I had one when I was younger that got underneath my bed and chewed a hole in the bottom of the box spring from underneath my bed.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it got too big that it got underneath the bed and it couldn't get it back out.
Oh.
So, yeah, I've had black labs, yellow labs, golden labs. I've never had a chocolate lab, though.
Interesting.
Yeah. Next up is Burmese mountain dogs. My parents just got a Burmese mountain dog. And that thing is the sweetest.
They're giants.
It's huge. Mm-hmm. It is ginormous. It's like a small pony. It's like a miniature horse.
A miniature horse.
Yeah, it's a miniature horse. It's 3 years old and already weighs 120 pounds. And it's like, it stands almost, I would dare say, 3 feet from the shoulder to the floor. I mean, it's big. Mm-hmm. It's big. His name is Blue. And he just wants you to love him. And it's funny because you would think that this giant dog would be a good guard dog. No. It'll bark, but then once you get in, it'll want you to pet him. Like, oh, it's a human, pet me. Not, hey, I don't recognize this human. No, it was funny because Shannon and I went over the other day, and he was in the other room, but we snuck in very quietly. And then, like, I made a note. I was like, because Shannon didn't want him to jump up on her. Well, with her knee. So I was like, sit down, like, get seated. She sat down and I made like a subtle noise. And then you could hear him walking down the hall very slowly. And then he poked his head around the corner and then saw who it was. And then all hell broke loose. And he freaked out.
Wow.
But that's another one. And honestly, any kind of doodle mix.
Doodle mixes.
Yeah. Like, I'm not big on designer dogs. But for some reason, doodle mixes, every dog I've been around that's been a doodle mix has been
pretty chill.
Extremely smart. Very, very good dog to have around. I mean, we think he's a fraud. We call him a fraud. They told us he was an Aussie doodle, but we're thinking he's more of an Airedale Terrier doodle.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because if you look at Airedale Terrier and then you see our dog, you'll be like, yeah, that they look exactly alike. So, but
have you ever tested your dog's genetics to see if they have heritage in Airedale Terrier?
We have the kit. We just haven't done it with Thor yet. We've done it with Loki, but we haven't done it with Thor. So, but doodle mixes, they've been great. We've really enjoyed having him. And now the next few, I almost got one, but I've never had this one. Bulldogs, English Bulldogs. I've always wanted an English Bulldog. I've never had one, but they always look fun and just kind of floppy and lazy, and they make all sorts of weird noises. So I'd always love to try to have an English Bulldog. And Newfoundlands. Newfies. Yeah, Newfies. I almost got a Newfoundland. I was about 22 years old, and I was looking for a new dog. Well, I found one in a shelter in Colorado Springs for a Newfoundland, and I was like, oh man, those you don't really see those too often.
Right.
They're a big dog. I was like, I think I'll take the trip out there. So my dad and I piled in my '94 Mustang, and we drove out to Colorado Springs. Took us all day. Stopped off for lunch. Drove out there. They closed 30 minutes before we got there.
Oh, no.
And it was like, it was on a Friday, so then they wouldn't reopen again until Monday. And I was like, you guys have got to be kidding me. And it's like, I tried calling. I was like, hey, I'm traveling up from Utah. And I called ahead of time, and nobody stuck around. So obviously I was devastated. I was pissed. And then we just drove home. And then I ended up getting a black lab at another shelter.
There you go.
So I almost got a Newfie, but then fate said I shouldn't have one, and then I ended up getting a lab. So, yeah. And then obviously you always got to, I mean, everybody's had experience with German Shepherds.
Right.
My grandparents, Grandma and Grandpa Diaz out in Miami always had Shepherds growing up. Duke and Duchess, those were great dogs. So German Shepherds are also a breed I really appreciate and like. So Shannon's brother has a German Shepherd. Her name's Riley.
Wow.
So, yeah. But those are my top six, I guess you could say.
5 plus 1.
Top 5 plus an honorable. What do you got?
Well, my list is a little different. I like Great Pyrenees.
Okay.
In no particular order.
Yeah.
One of my first dog was a Great Pyrenees Border Collie mix.
Okay.
So very fluffy, very very a large dog, since Great Pyrenees are that extra large. And Border Collies are that medium.
Range.
They met in the middle, you know, and there was a large dog. Her name was Maggie, and she's a guard dog. Great Pyrenees are guard dogs.
Yeah.
They don't see themselves as members of the household. They see themselves as like guardians. So Maggie was interesting because she would be friendly, but then she'd go away and be like, I have to work now.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Her Border Collie instinct kind of, I don't know if it helped her or hurt her from her guard dog instinct, because she was really good at herding, and she was big enough, and as kids we were little enough that she would just herd us.
Yeah.
She would nudge us into the center of the yard, and especially the younger kids. Like she would pin them down and just be like, "Yep, you're not going anywhere." So that was a very fun experience, and growing up with that dog, a large dog, was good. You know, you couldn't really hurt her.
Yeah.
I learned how to be nice to her, and she, in return, was a really good guard dog. Unfortunately, she passed away several years ago, and she lived to be 14. So
wow,
a nice old dog.
Yeah.
And then next up, probably the closest to my heart, so maybe my favorite, are Border Collies.
Yeah.
I have Border Collies. I have Border Collie mixes, and I just helped my dog Rose through her first litter. She delivered 6 pups and whelped them, and now they're 11 weeks old themselves, and we have one in the studio.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They're so smart of a dog, and people get up. I think it's a kind of a thing, like an ego thing, where it's like the border collie has such a personality, such an ego, not really an ego, but such an intelligence about it that it has to be doing something all the time.
Yeah.
It's like those people that are fidgeting, like they have to be doing something all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great. I think that's a great thing to use, because you can see it. You can see it be constructive, and if you don't use it, it becomes destructive. So I definitely love border collies. I love helping them figure things out, because even these pups that I have are so smart. They can figure things out. A lot of them are doing puzzles that their dad couldn't solve, and he's a border collie too.
Yeah.
But he's more of the airbud border collie. He wants to run and chase balls and things like that.
Yeah.
The mom's more of the, let's figure this out. Here's a treat mat. There's everything buried. Let me dig it out.
Yeah.
So that's
the problem solver.
She's the problem solver, yeah. And they inherited a lot from her. That now they're very interested in what dad does.
Mm-hmm.
He will fetch the ball all day. He will bring it back. He will bring it back. He will go get his ball when you come outside, because he expects you to play with him.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show their personality, just how smart they are. And a lot of dogs are like that. The next, I guess the next part of, and I don't have too many other breeds that I'm interested in, but
yeah.
I did do some dog sitting for one of my cousins, and he had a Shiba Inu, a Japanese dog.
Okay.
And they're medium to small size dogs, and they also have personalities, but they're very clean. They're dogs that kind of are like the cats of the dog world.
Gotcha.
They'll do their own thing, and I might be misrepresenting them, but the one that I had was very, very personable, very friendly, but also was like, what are you doing in my room? You know, like, this is my area.
Yeah.
So I got to take care of that for a week. The next dog, I guess I also like Bernese Mountain Dogs too.
Yeah.
Just the big dog, big look.
Big,
fluffy, happy.
Oh yeah, they're just always happy.
They're happy.
All the time.
Yeah, any dog that's just like, is just happy. And most of the dogs are happy to see you, but I think that's a good dog. I'd want one of those. And then
I think Burmese are on another level, though.
They're on another level.
Yeah,
they're just the big one.
They're just. I mean, maybe because they're bigger, it looks more impressive. But they're always happy.
You feel like they're always smiling. Really. So, and then the last one, I had experience with this when I was younger, and these were Jack Russells. They're little yippy dogs, but they're bigger than the yippy dogs. They're kind of medium size, almost border collie size.
Yeah.
And the ones I had, they were with my extended family on my mom's side, and they were all very fun to play with.
Yeah.
They were all fun to play with. They were good. Now, they weren't as smart or as needing attention as border collies, but they had their own way.
Yeah.
So and they had short hair. The short hair dog was another good one. A little different, I guess, than the long hair and like the double coat of the border collie and the Great Pyrenees.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my 5. I don't have any runners up because I think I'm set with border collies. But
yeah, everybody's kind of got their one that they like or their go-to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but hey, let us know what dog breeds are your favorite, if they're ones we've listed already or if they're ones we haven't listed already. God, there's so many different types out there that I'd love to hear what yours are. I'd also love to. Coach Scott had 2 Mastiffs.
Mastiffs, okay.
Also, yeah, those dogs were. Oh my God, those dogs had the biggest head I've ever seen on a dog, and you're just like, okay, I'm in trouble if this thing like decides it wants to not have me around.
Oh yeah.
So, but they're sweet dogs. I mean, truthfully, I don't think there's ever a mean dog out there. I think they're bred to be mean or trained to be mean. They're
treated poorly.
Yeah.
As a child, yeah. So
and I think there's a lot of similarities we can take away from dogs and humans and like how we treat each other. Doesn't matter what breed you are or where you came from. It doesn't automatically seal your fate for what it is.
Right.
You know, a lot of times, a lot of us, we try to use privilege, or we have this, you know, we assume there's privilege with certain people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's disadvantages with other people. You know, a lot of it's environment, you know, but just because you are, let's say you're from the inner city, like you're a quote unquote Rottweiler or pit bull that have this just negative association with them. Some of the sweetest dogs I've ever been around have been Rottweilers and pit bulls. My sister's got a pit bull mix, and it's apparently the sweetest dog you'll ever meet. So it's like, just because you have this quote unquote reputation does not mean that you have to live up to that reputation. It's all in how you treat people. So if you want a nice dog, you treat it nicely. If you want nice people, you treat them nicely. You don't treat them like as if they're anything else except your best friend. So, you know, word of advice for everybody out there. If you want and it just goes back to like what you learned in kindergarten. If you want to be treated, if you want people to treat you a certain way, then you have to look at how you're treating them. Are you treating them fairly? Are you treating them kindly? Are you treating them with respect? If the answer is yes, you know, and they're not doing it back, then it's just going to take a little bit more time. Maybe they've had a rougher upbringing than you have. Okay, but that doesn't mean that people have to live up to their negative reputation. Just like dogs. Dogs don't have to live up to their negative reputation. Okay? Unless you're a little dog. Then all they do is bark. So, but let us know what your favorite dog breed is, and if we missed one. Are you a big dog person? Are you a small dog person? I typically am a big dog person. I go by the Ron Swanson view of dogs. Anything under 50 pounds is basically a cat. So, but I know that's not true. But that's me. I like things that you can like grab a hold of and hold and roughhouse with and all that stuff. So, and then when they sleep in bed with you, they are like walking furnaces.
They're the gravity blanket of your house.
Yeah. Or I mean, you don't get blankets anymore.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll lay on you, and then all of a sudden you turn, and you'll turn, but the blankets won't turn.
And they're like, no, I'm not turning.
And yeah, it's just
I got my legs.
It's just over at that point. Yeah, it's like it's gotten so bad at our house that it's like I don't sleep with blankets because one, they won't stay on, and two, it is so hot with two dogs and another human being in a bed. You're just like, oh my God, like someone turned the AC on, and we have the AC on and a ceiling fan going, and it's still hot.
You need to get a couple box fans and
just blow it right on my face. Yep. So, but moving on with the show. It is the Ask a Sensei portion of the show where people write in questions and we answer them. So, first question is, what do you like to do for fun, or what are some of your hobbies?
I think I've answered this in the intro. I enjoy using firearms.
Things that go boom.
I got into that through throwing knives.
Yeah.
You know, there's everyone has that one shop that sells throwing knives. Mine was down at the mall.
The Asian gift store?
Asian Gifts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or Asian World.
Yep.
Or no. Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
And it was great, you know. Out of high school, you get your first throwing axes, and you just start throwing them, and then that becomes fun. Then you're like, oh, maybe I should take up other target stuff. And then you try your hand at darts, and you realize you're terrible at darts. And then you're like, oh, maybe I'll just get a gun. And then you buy a gun, and you go out and shoot. And that's a skill that deteriorates. It's something that if you don't practice like a lot of things, it goes away. So I'm not saying that's the only hobby I have. Yesterday, actually, on completely other end of the spectrum, I built some miniatures.
Okay.
I built some little models and whatnot, and I do enjoy those. I collect wargaming miniatures, so like your traditional Warhammer 40K I'm fielding a few little armies with those, and I want to get more so I can introduce someone who doesn't have this money pit in their life into the hobby.
Yeah.
Be that friendly dealer that gives them their first one free, and then they're like, oh, now I need another mortgage.
Yeah. You're their crack dealer.
Yep.
First station's for free.
First one's free.
No.
So I've got two teams, and I'm trying to get some people to a little group to play with, so I can, stage battles.
Yeah.
It's like Risk, but for adults.
Yeah.
Even though Risk is a very grown-up game, I could never figure it out as a kid.
Risk?
Yeah.
The world domination
Yep.
game? God, that took forever.
Those games took so long, and then you get into wargaming, and it takes longer.
Really?
Yeah, because
Holy crap.
it's basically that's the gateway right there.
Yeah, Risk.
Yep. I would just take, because I got the good one that had like all the little molds of the cannon and the horse and the infantry. I would line them up and do little battles without the map.
Yeah. I played Risk a couple of times when I was younger. And it was fun, but I was just like, damn, guys, we've been doing this for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit here anymore. Like, we need to get out and do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, well, don't touch the board. I'm like, okay, I won't touch the board. Yeah, and they were always into, like, Final Fantasy and stuff like that.
Ooh.
And I love Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I just want to kick and punch something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm building
What are
up
these
this.
tactics?
Yeah. Or, oh, you got to build up your experience points. And it's like, you mean I just can't walk up there and punch him in the face? They're like, no. And I was like, oh, this is lame. But, yeah, I was kind of the odd man out on that with my friends as they were way into...
So you're into video games?
I like to play. When I was younger, I was always like to play. I remember playing Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, man. Mario, such a fun game.
Yeah,
the early Mario was so hard.
way hard.
Now Mario is super easy.
Yeah, the original Mario Brothers,
Mario,
not easy.
Anything on the Super Nintendo, difficult.
Yeah, I remember having a N64 and Contra. God, that was fun, and I sucked at that too. And Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh, yep, Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
I remember that. I remember they had the D-pad where you put the mat on the floor and you'd run, and as fast as you ran, your character would run that fast. And I remember playing this over at my buddy Lance Roberts' house long time ago, where we figured out that if you just like keep your feet on the ground but bring your heels up real fast, you'd run a lot faster. But we made so much vibration and so much noise that we were knocking stuff off of shelves. Like, that's how much like we were pounding the ground. Yeah, and like their parents would come home and be like, "What happened?" We're like, "We were just playing video games." So Duck Hunt.
Oh, Duck Hunt.
Yeah, Duck Hunt was always fun.
With the plug-in gun.
Yep, with the plug-in gun.
Yep.
And then I remember my very first first-person shooter game was GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Yep, GoldenEye. Or I should say, no, that was my first for Nintendo. I remember playing
You had an earlier one.
Wolfenstein on the computer.
Oh, original Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I remember playing that on my buddy's computer. That was fun. That was a trip. But
what handheld consoles did you ever get into those?
I was just like a Game Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, like I never really got into. Well, the last like handheld one I ever had was like a Game Boy Color.
Okay.
That was about it. Like I never had like the PlayStation handheld one or the Switch. Like Jamin has a Switch and all that stuff, or the Nintendo DS, like the flip up screen. Never had one of those. The kids all had one of those, but not me. So, but yeah, I was always a big fan of the original Street Fighter, and going to the arcade and throwing in a quarter and seeing how far you could get, and Obviously, I never went very far. And they also had a fun wrestling game there, an old WWF wrestling game that I loved, and I'd always want to go play when I was a kid. I was always Hulk Hogan.
Of course.
So, yeah, beating the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Randy Savage. but nowadays, I'm with you. I like doing firearms training. I'm not into it as much as I would like to be. I used to do it all the time. I've gone to a bunch of classes with Master Lenton. I did the first 3 classes. No, first 2 levels here with TruMotion. When we had our short stint with TruMotion Tactical. So I passed level 1 and 2. Which I never got my badge for. Stupid. But yeah, I like training in firearms. I like collecting firearms. I mean, I'm at the point where I've bought guns that I just haven't even shot. You know, just because I like them. And you know, I like having them around, and I like knives. I like blade edge weapons. Well, it always calls me paranoid because like I've got those like staged all around my house.
I'm always within 10 foot of a knife.
Yeah, quite frankly, I am. Like even here, it's a little bit more acceptable than staging guns.
Well, I mean, yes, you're right.
So,
It's true.
as much as I'm comfortable around firearms, I have to realize that not everybody is, and that's okay.
Very open-minded.
Yeah, so I don't try to put. I try not to put them in play to where it's like people accidentally see them. So, because then you have to answer all sorts of questions and.
What's this? Whose is this?
Yeah, but you know, I like handguns and long guns and rifles and shotguns and everything in between. So, I think it'd be fun to shoot a musket.
A musket.
Yeah,
I have a musket.
or a good old like pour the gunpowder in and the flint and.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I have one of those.
Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
It's a 50 caliber pistol.
Yeah,
Yep. Shoots a ball.
so like a pirate, huh?
It is exactly a pirate gun.
I was gonna say, did you get it for your pirate garb?
I did.
There you go.
I bought it as a kit. I built it.
You built it.
Yep.
Nice.
It was Kentucky Ballistics or something like that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know they sell kits.
Yeah, you can find them in most places.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun to put together a firearm like that. Nowadays, it's like, yeah, I like collecting. Like some of my hobbies are, is I like collecting Jordans.
Jordans.
Yeah.
How many Jordans do you have?
I probably have 15.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I've got like 3 or 4 ones. Only 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 6. I haven't found 5 yet.
Okay.
I have.
You showed me there was a place you could customize a Jordan and put like a TruMotion, right? Or was that a different shoe?
Different shoe, but
Different shoe.
yeah, on the Nike website you can customize like their dunks.
Oh, the Nike Dunks.
Yeah, the Nike Dunks. Yeah, so I have a pair of custom TruMotion Nike Dunks.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's funny because I hardly wear any of them. I have 111. No, I have like 4 11s.
Okay.
112. 14, 13, 14. Yeah. And then some odds and end ones. So, but my goal is to have at least one of every model.
How many models would that be?
36.
36 different models. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but 11s are my favorite. Those are the Space Jam shoe. So if you ever watch the original Space Jam, those where he shoot. That's the number he wore in Space Jam. Yeah, I like 11s and 12s. Those are my favorites.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, those are fun. I like collecting like odds and ends stuff too. Like, I don't have much room for them anymore, but like, Naruto figures.
Oh, You got some statues,
some
going on.
collectibles, yeah.
Okay, some collectibles.
Yep, they're on our cabinets in our kitchen.
Oh wow!
Above the cabinets, but I don't have much room left. I need a separate room for all my crap. And honestly, I like hanging out with the family and watching a movie and
good times,
and stuff like that. So
I mean, that's always fun.
Yeah.
I finished Fistful of Dollars with my family yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I got Shanna when she was laid up from her knee surgery. I got her to watch The Last of Us. So she wasn't quite sure at first, but she always liked zombie movies. But she's like, this one was weird.
This one, they're fungus.
Yeah, she's like, they look funny. And I was like, because they're a fungus, not a virus. So, but yeah, no, it's funny what calms you down, and sometimes honestly just sitting still. I like listening to books, but I like listening to books in my car.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Has to be specifically in your car. That's bad.
Yeah. I can try to listen to them like other places, like in the office or at home. But then I get too distracted and I don't really pay attention to it, which is weird because they're like, you should be paying attention while you're driving. It's different. That's different. But that's just me. So, but moving on to the next question, it's how do you train with injuries? Now, obviously, you've been in it long enough. You've had injuries. You've had bumps and bruises and things that just aren't firing right. So you personally, how does Stephen train with injuries?
You have to have a mix of caution and crazy.
Yeah.
Because if you think that you're not going to be hurt, if you have to be 100% in order to train, then you're never going to train. You're always going to run into something that doesn't feel good, like maybe your back's sore, or maybe you've worked out too hard earlier and now you're feeling it today, or maybe your knee gives out. So you have to show caution and understand that you don't want to do things that will aggravate it, but you don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
So if let's say, I mean, we had an example. We have a student with a broken arm right now. So what we're going to do is when that student comes in to train, we're going to do things that continue their mobility, continue their flexibility, continue their focus, but we're going to not basically not use that side.
Yeah.
So that's, and unfortunately we have a group of people that are very open in communication about, hey, I hurt today, or hey, I've broken this. We have students that come in injured and they still train.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right thing to do, because we're not trying to make them re-aggravate their wound. We're not pushing them to, it's like, oh, you can lift with a broken arm, come on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like they're not quitting because they hurt.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'll second that. If you're waiting for the time where you feel 100%, well, that time's never coming. So there's always going to be something that aggravates you or something that bothers you. And the biggest thing is to just make sure you listen to your body. Okay, so if you don't feel like you can push through it, then walk through it. If you don't feel like you can walk through it, watch it. Okay? Because there's been times where, me personally, it's been a while since I've had my workout, just because I haven't been able to move very well with my knees. So when I'm there, I'm not just there hanging out and sitting down. I'm there watching and observing the workout so I can absorb something from the workout. So if you physically can't do the movements, then you need to be mentally sharp. Okay? So if you have an injury, obviously the number one thing is listen to your body, and don't do anything that'll make you degress. Okay? But again, you kind of have to have that little bit of crazy where you're like, oh, well, I got to push through.
I've got to do something.
I got to push through. I've got to do something. Maybe that something is watching and observing and then regurgitating it mentally. Okay, or maybe that something is just walking through things, or maybe that something is just like, hey, no takedowns. But I agree. We have a good group of people here that if they are dealing with stuff, they will let you know. And through letting you know, then you can continue to work and push and train without injuring each other. So it's a very touchy subject. Some people are like, no, don't do anything and just heal. I agree to a point. Like, you do have to take it easy, take some time, let your body heal. But at the other aspect of it is, if that's all you do, then it's very hard to get back into it. Okay? So if you're not mentally preparing yourself for the physicality, then you're probably never going to train again. Okay? So I encourage you, if you're dealing with something, come in and do what you can, and don't worry about what you can't do yet. Okay? So that's the biggest thing, is, control your controllables and not worry about what you can do. Okay? Because what you can't do now will not be what you can't do later. Mm-hmm. So you just have to take it one day at a time, one workout at a time, one session at a time.
Yeah, it's crazy because we have many younger students that they get the smallest thing and they feel like, oh, I can't train.
Yeah.
I'm like, buddy, that's how I feel every day.
Yeah.
That's me on a good day.
Sensei, I'm really tired. I'm just going to sit this one out.
Kind of feel lethargic.
No, you're not. Like, get your butt in there. Sensei, I stubbed my toe. Well, I'm sorry you stubbed your toe. Get in there.
My muscles are sore.
Yeah. My tummy hurts. Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Okay.
Yeah.
If anybody knows what that quote's from, leave it in the comments below.
There it is.
So, all right, moving on to our last question, our third and final question of the day. It's, what is the main difference in the style at TruMotion versus other studios, styles at other studios? So here at TruMotion, we do a form called Kempo. Okay, and Kempo is a combination of karate, kung fu, and jiu-jitsu. Now, if you're probably thinking, what is karate? Well, karate is a Japanese-based art, deals with linear movements, and they're very strong, hard. It's considered a quote-unquote hard style. Okay? Kung fu, in reality, is not a style at all, but it's being good at a skill set. Okay? So we'll just use Chinese boxing. Okay? Or Chinese martial arts. Because, again, Kung fu itself, it's not a martial arts, people. Okay? So if you don't believe me, look it up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it means the act of being good at something.
Wow.
Okay. So, Chinese martial arts deals with a lot of circular movements and very soft, passive movements where they'd rather deflect and redirect as opposed to attack head on. And then you have jiu-jitsu, Japanese-style jiu-jitsu, where it deals with a lot of throws, holds, locks, and takedowns. Mm-hmm. And we combine all those in, and that's what we have, and that's where we get Kempo. Okay, Kempo is unique and to the point to where it draws from all sorts of different aspects of martial arts, but it's not a specialty, or it doesn't specialize in one aspect. Mm-hmm. So it's like that jack of all trades and master of one. Instead of a jack of all, rather be a jack of all trades than a master of one.
That's right.
So apparently the ending of that quote is, it's better to be, because a master of one is like a master of none or something like that.
That's right.
So you'd rather be multiversed as opposed to one aspect. Okay. So other schools, they could be like your traditional karate studios. Very fine. Deals with a lot of hard linear movements. And it's a hard style. Where your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is the big kind of fad craze right now. I don't want to call it a fad because it's been around for a while. But one that everybody seems to want to do because of MMA. Mm-hmm. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is all ground fighting and grappling. Okay? It's a lot of rolling around on the ground. Now, that being said, I've done a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and grappling, and it is a lot of fun. But by God, you got to be in good shape to do it. Okay? and you better hope it's a one-on-one fight. All right. Then you have like styles like Taekwondo. Taekwondo is a Korean-based martial arts that deals with a lot of kicks. It's very flashy. It's very aerial. I tell people that if they're trying to get into the movie industry, to take Taekwondo. Why? Because it deals with a lot of aerial, high, flashy style stuff. Looks good on camera. Okay. Not the most practical thing in the world, but it looks really good on film. Okay. And then, you know, you have your sprinkled in Asian martial arts places all over the place. And it's this Tai Chi or old Tai Chi is technically the art of slow exercise. People will be like, oh, it's a deadly art. It can be. Like, if you really look into it, yeah, the bunkai of certain motions are twisting someone's arm and then ripping their face off or something like that.
Right.
But it's really meant for older people to keep their body moving. And then you got styles like Wing Chun. Wing Chun is a Chinese martial arts that was infamously done by Bruce Lee. Okay, deals with a lot of linear circular style punches, very short movements, and you have to be in really tight with people. So, you know, Kempo, the best thing I love about Kempo is its greatest strength and it's its worst enemy. Is you have a lot of information to pull from, but at the same time, you have a lot of information to pull from. So it's really difficult to feel really good at one particular thing. That's where it all comes down to the instructor. Okay? Because you could have a really bad system, but a really good instructor, and they'll make it work. Versus you could have a really good system and a bad instructor, and they'll just chase everybody out. So, does style matter a little bit? Maybe, but not as much as people think. So, like, would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. I go back to our interaction that one time when someone came in and they were looking for a practical martial art.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is as practical as you can get.
Yeah, you have some people that are ignorant. Like, he's referring to a day where I think just finished a podcast. It was a Friday night, and we were getting ready to close up, and the guy came in, he was asking questions about it. And he left, and I was like, oh, is there any other thing that, you know, we could help you with? He's like, no, I'm looking for more of a practical martial arts. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean practical martial arts? There's like, you can't get any more practical than us. Like, we have traditional movements, but we do modern self-defense.
I think it goes back to our motto of building better people. We're building a martial art that works with the students.
And it's always evolving.
It's always changing. We can't stick with something that's antiquated or something that someone came up in theory and then it hasn't been tested. Everything that we do at TruMotion, we test. We test because we have people punch in, we have people get into sparring situations. And that was kind of how our art was founded in a way.
No, and it's constantly evolving, constantly changing, because what we think may work now, we look back on it in 10 plus years, and all of a sudden we're like, that doesn't work anymore. Then we take it out and we revise it. Okay, because there's been countless techniques that I learned one way, and now we don't do it that way. Okay, for the betterment. But that's the biggest thing I would say between us and everybody else is, one, I believe we do have the best instructors in the state of Utah. Because we're a full-time school. This is all we do for a living, and we still stay up on our training. Okay, so I would put any of our instructors against any other instructor from another studio any day of the week. Okay, and I'm talking like teaching wise. Okay, now are we good fighters and spars? I believe so, because we still train in that as well. But at the same time, the students don't care how well we spar. Okay, they care how well can we teach them. And I always tell people, I go, my goal is to make sure everybody can beat me. Okay, because in reality, it doesn't matter if you can beat me. Okay. And what matters is if I can relay information and pass it along to you. Okay. Because do you think when Mike Tyson was 19, he could have beaten up his boxing coach?
Of course.
Oh, he would have destroyed him. Customato, he was an old decrepit man at that point. So he could have murdered Cuss. But that's not what Cuss is there for.
Right.
Cuss is there for to train him, not to brag to show him how tough he is. And that's the biggest thing. So you got to find an instructor that doesn't have an ego, and they're there for you. If you find an instructor that doesn't have an ego, and they're there to train you, and it's all about you, that's a good place to be in. And I know we do that here. So, all right, moving on to a word from our sponsor.
For the best tips and tricks, no need to ask. Just tune in now to Provost Park Pass. Discover theme parks from far and wide. Secrets of Disneyland, we're your guide. Don't miss out, subscribe today. For all the hidden gems and tips, hooray! Provost Park Pass, the place to be. For travel tips and magic, come and see. Just type Park Pass and hit subscribe. Join the fun and feel the vibe. Provost Park Pass, your guide, your friend. For theme park magic that never ends.
Thank you, sponsor.
Thank you.
All right, now we're coming into a very interesting portion of the show as our hypothetical fight scene. This one is going to be a toss-up for me. This one's tough. When I wrote it down, I was like, oh, that'd be a good one. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, damn, that's a hard one. We're going to have this week the Predator versus the Terminator, the T-800, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, not the T-1000.
Okay.
Okay. So, round one. Granted, the Predator can fight anywhere, same with the Terminator, but we're going to go based off of the movies.
Okay.
Round one is they're in the jungle. Okay. They're wandering around in the jungle. Who you got?
That's tough. This is a very interesting.
This one's hard. This one's really hard for me.
I'd give it. I would say it would not be a clean match either way, but I would give it to the Predator.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: the Predator is like one of those species that hunts, that tracks, that learns. It might, like, one of them might die to the Terminator, but it's like, who knows?
The next one would learn from it. Yeah.
But same with the Terminator, right? The Terminator is one of those robots,
The sentient AIs.
AI that's why it has a T-800 and it keeps going, because it's like it's making changes to improve. So I don't know. This one I'd give to the Predator, probably because of stealth.
His cloaking device.
I don't remember if the T-800 had like a thermal sensor. Did it?
I think it has the ability, but we never see it.
Gotta
Does that
see
make
it.
sense?
Yeah.
So I agree. I'm going to give round one to the Predator also, just because it has the ability to disguise itself. You know, it climbs in trees. It hides with the environment.
When given a mission, let's say the Terminator gets a mission to eliminate life in this area, and that's where the Predator is. Like, the first thing it does is it kind of teleports there. It's naked. It has to find clothes. It has to find a weapon. So
Yeah, because it probably doesn't have one at that
yeah.
point.
So the Predator, I think, will take it from there.
Yeah. All right, so we each got
Predator.
Predator in round one
Round
on
one.
Predator's home field. Now we're going to go round two. The Predator that just found John Connor. Okay. In T2. So the Predator that just found John Connor. He's clothed. He's got a weapon.
So the Terminator.
And it's in the city.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That's the second scenario.
That's the second scenario.
That's the second scenario. So it's almost like Predator 2.
Okay. If that's the case, I think Terminator will take it. Round two.
I think there's less places to hide. And then when it does try to hide, it's so obvious that there's a distortion there that the T-800 is going to know exactly where it's at. And it's going to be able to shoot it a couple of times, wound it, and follow its blood, and then finish the job. So I agree. I got the T-800 in round two.
Okay.
Okay.
1-1.
Now they're in the octagon. There's no cloaking device, but they do have just hand to hand.
Hand to hand.
Hand to hand.
Terminator.
Yeah. I feel like even hand to hand, I feel like the Predator's got him.
Do you feel like the Predator's got him?
Yeah. Even hand to hand. Because even though he doesn't have his knives and all that stuff, he's still got those claws. And I think he does enough and has enough fighting experience to
destroy a robot,
get behind it, rip its head off.
Robot.
Yeah. Because it'll punch him in the body once
and then
realize
it's not.
Okay, that was really hard. I need to change my game plan.
Yeah, once it discovers that it can't beat its opponent, then maybe.
And you can't just rip out its spine.
My thing is
counter argument.
My counter argument is that it's going to learn that, but it's not going to learn that fast enough.
There's that possibility
because it's just in a contained area. And what does the Terminator do? It just keeps pressing, you know, in those flashbacks of the future, you know.
Keeps moving forward.
It just keeps moving forward. And so for every punch, they're going to exchange punches, and it's like you get hit with a metal fist.
Yeah.
I don't think any alien or any creature could take that.
Yeah, I agree. If it gets multiple punches off on him, Predator's toast. But I think it happens to be the Predator's quicker.
Okay.
Even though the Predator's bigger.
Yeah.
And it's going to have that ability to, like we said, hit and then realize, okay, this isn't a normal person. And then it adapts and moves on from there. But I can see your argument too. Like the Predator comes in to like swipe it or whatever, and the Terminator punches it in the hand or the fist and just shatters its hand.
Yeah, it's a toss up in round three. I think having a house divided is a good
I like both of
assessment.
them. I like both of them, but I'd have to go with the Predator.
Okay, I'll take Terminator.
Even though the Terminator is one bad man.
Yeah.
So I just think it's funny because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, and he fought the Predator.
That's right.
So, all right, moving on to our shout outs. Who you got for a shout out this week?
Oh man, it's tough. I guess I'm gonna shout out my folks.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, they helped me with some stuff this week.
When your mom just retired from her job.
Yeah. As of last week, it's been a week.
Yeah. How long did she work with the company she was with?
A while.
Yeah.
A while. Yeah.
So.
Congrats.
Mama Heinen.
Congrats Mary. Good job. Well done.
On the retirement. Now it's time to really enjoy life.
Yep. Don't work too hard now.
You got FE money. You can tell everybody where to stick it. There you go.
Yep. I'm gonna shout out my mom.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. I'm going to shout out Sadie from the juniors class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because yesterday when we were working on our kicks, that little girl was outperforming everybody in class.
Oh, yeah.
And when she's kicking and hitting the bag, like she is giving it everything. And I even told the juniors class, I go, dude, give Sadie a month or a year, she'll be destroying all of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because every time she comes in, she's trying to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you guys come in, you're just worried about looking cool.
Yeah.
I go, so Sadie's going to kick your ass if you're not careful. And she will.
That's so true.
She's one tough little girl. So, shout out to Sadie. Sadie,
Good job, Sadie.
Keep it up, ma'am. You're killing it. So, all right. Any thoughts for leave the people for the weekend?
Nope. Pet a dog if you see one. If it's a friendly dog and it's not working.
Yeah, just remember that.
Be kind.
Be kind to people.
Make an impact.
Make an impact on their life. I cannot say that enough.
I need to put on the shirt.
Everybody needs to make an impact. Make an impact on someone's day. So when they see you, they're genuinely excited to see you like a dog.
Like a dog would be.
Like a dog would be. And that should honestly tell a lot about your character. When you walk up to somebody, are they excited to see you? If they're not excited to see you, you are not doing your job well enough. Okay. So take inventory of the people in your life. I'm taking inventory of the people in my life as well.
I'm thinking right now.
I need to do a better job with some people. And usually it's the people that are closest to you. Okay? Because you get too familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to make sure that the closest people in my life, my family, they're excited to see me because they know I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that's my final thought for the day, is by making such an impact on people that the next time they see you, they are excited to see you like your dog would be when you come home. Okay?
That's a superb goal.
That's
where we need to be.
Everybody needs to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everybody. Because if everybody did that, could you imagine how much better the world would be?
I can't stay mad at dogs.
You can't.
You can't.
Even when they steal your food and you're pissed, they walk up to you with their ears down and their tail down, and you're like, damn it, I can't stay mad at
you.
I hate you so much right now, but come here, let me rub your head. It's I don't get it. So treat everybody like you would treat your own dog. I know that sounds weird. Make an impact on everybody's life, so much so that when you see them, they're excited to see you like your dog's excited to see you.
Yep.
Okay. But go out there and make an impact on everybody's lives, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to follow us on all your platforms that you choose to listen on. Like and share.
We appreciate every one of you.
Every one of you guys. We appreciate you. You truly are making a difference and making an impact on this world. So we appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Kick it with us next week. Bye.